Byond exists to define purpose through holistic mentoring. At Byond, we will assist you to achieve success, enjoy inner peace, and live your best life. Basically, we're here to inspire you to heal and transform. Byond umbrella consists of Byond Talk, Byond Virtual Learning Space, Byond Coaching and Mentoring Services, and Byond Online Shop. For more information, visit us at www.sandraturgott.com or contact us at byondonline@gmail.com. Hello there, Sandra. Good evening.
Hi, Ellen. How are you? Good evening.
I'm very well. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you for another Friday.
Beautiful Friday. Nice, sunny.
It is. It is amazing. It's an amazing day.
Absolutely.
So how was it for you? You worked today?
I certainly did. And I got my special delivery today. I got my wonderful
your sea moss today.
Byond Natural sea moss, and I love the sea moss, Sandra. I must say, my only complaint is that it's only good for 3 gulps.
It finishes too fast.
It finishes too fast. It's so darn good.
I know. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad I was able to get those to you this morning.
Yes. I almost left without them.
Awesome. That's good. Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it.
Oh,
it's Byond Naturals, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, we do that too.
Natural juices and smoothies.
We do a whole lot of things over here.
Awesome. Are you ready for the show?
Yes, I'm ready for the show.
Awesome.
Did you want to start us off?
Absolutely.
So we're talking.
Absolutely. Just hold on here a minute. For those that are joining us for the first time here at Byond Talk, you're wondering what is this all about? So Byond Talk is a social mentoring forum. It's a space designed to engage our community in thought-provoking conversation about real-life issues, triumphs, pain, grief, growth, success. This space is designed to inspire you and to foster transformation and healing. We believe life is a big classroom where teachers and learners are interchangeable. And our mission is to inspire you to go after your healing so you can transform. Because one of the greatest tragedies in life is to lose your authentic self and accept the version of you that is expected by everyone else.
Amen to that again. Every week we say, we're very consistent in saying that. We've been saying that for a whole year now, over a year. So I hope that our viewers are getting that.
Repetition is the mother of learning.
It is. The
more we hear it, the more it's going to sink into our subconscious and become our experience. And it's just so important for us to heal. And there's so many different facets of healing. Especially what's going on right now in the world. With the fear. The virus of fear. We have to be able to keep fear in its perspective and just see the information for what it is and encourage us to be strengthened in doing our own research and basing our emotions on fact and not fear. And that's all part of the process of healing, of coming to know who you are, and trusting that knowledge.
Yes.
Right.
You said it all. I don't even have to say anything else. So we're just going to go, because we know we have a short hour and we're going to go right into
a quick hour.
A short hour. We're talking about relationships, his and hers edition. And the reason why we just say his and hers edition, because relationship is so broad. There's so much to explore. And we're exploring the love, the hate, the in-between, the betrayal, the divorce, the connection, the bliss, all of that. We're exploring all of that because a lot of our viewers said they want to talk about this. A lot of people are struggling in this area.
Right.
So, and of course, Aaron, you know that we like talking to ordinary people. Not that we don't love celebrity, but one of our guests tonight, they're celebrities in their own right. But we love talking to ordinary people. We love when ordinary people share their stories, because the people who are watching us are ordinary people. We want them to hear from the mouths of ordinary people. So tonight, we're coming to you with SHADAE LUGG and her mother, MERVIA Scott.
Nice.
So it's a mom daughter. Whoa, they're going to be talking about the questions that we're going to be asking them from their point of view. Hey, MERVIA.
Welcome, SHADAE and MERVIA.
Welcome to our show.
Join us.
Thanks for having us.
You guys look amazing.
They do.
You do too.
All three of you.
Oh, thank you.
My goodness.
I try. Me and Ellen, we try, but you guys are not even trying. You guys just look good in real life.
There it is.
Just pretty in our real life. You know what I mean? I've been saying that a lot. Did I say it right? Thank you so much for joining us. So we're going to jump right in. So we're going to give you a minute to share the live with your viewers and invite them to join to watch us. And I'm going to do the same. And then we're going to jump right into what we're going to do. Before, we're going to ask you guys to introduce yourself. We don't introduce our guests. This is your minute to shine, to talk about you and to tell us what you do and why we should be talking to you about relationships. Go for it. And SHADAE, you want to go first?
Sure. My name is SHADAE LUGG. I am almost 34 next week. I'm a mom, and I've been in a long-term relationship for about 15 years, not married. So I guess from my point of view, as just like a layperson, it will be interesting to hear where I'm coming from, and also on what I do is I do have a law degree, but I'm not currently practicing. Almost. That's in the works, but I basically stay home with my kids.
Lovely.
Very good.
Okay, that's pretty good. All right, MERVIA?
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Your volume.
Are you muted? You got to turn your mic on. Turn your mic on. Okay, so it seemed that it's on. It seemed that we can't hear you. So our guy in the back, Chief, will fix that, and MERVIA will come out. She'll come back out. So in the meantime, we're just gonna move on.
Sure.
Aaron, yeah. Hopefully she get that worked out. But thank you for that, SHADAE.
You're welcome.
I'm not going to ask you who you're in a long-term relationship with.
Someone who looks like you.
I wasn't going to ask you. Donna Murray said, hi, everyone. Hi, MERVIA. Hi, Donna.
Hi.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. So until MERVIA comes back, SHADAE, so we want to ask this first question. She's back. Hi, MERVIA. Can you hear us? Your voice is gone, so probably you can leave the broadcast and then come back in.
Come back in. Maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Go all the way out. Check your sound in your computer, or you can just use your phone and then come back in. Yeah. All right. In the meantime, so SHADAE, I've been doing some reading, and it is said that family lawyers are saying that the pandemic has really impacted marriages in a negative way, and since since this pandemic, we're about a year now. They've seen divorces on the rise. There are a lot of people are having relationship trouble. There are a lot more calls of abuse. There's a lot more women been targeted. There's a lot more pressure. So there's a lot more divorce being registered in the divorce court this year, which is kind of frightening. So what do you think? Why do you think this is actually happening? Why do you think this has happened?
Well, I think that people are spending a lot more time together, and a lot of people stay in they're in a marriage, for example, and they don't particularly like each other. They might just love each other. So being around each other, those, like when you get to go to work and come home, sometimes they're so occupied with like work, the kids, after like the work that they take home from work, they don't make. And I blame the fact that they probably didn't build a relationship prior to the pandemic. When you surround, your relationship is just about your kids and not really getting to know your spouse.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even setting aside date nights, even if it's not going anywhere. A lot of people don't do that. They just go to work, come home, and they're kind of they're going with emotions. So I feel like during the pandemic, when you have to like sit down, you're either going to come closer or you're gonna go apart. And if you don't like each other, you're not gonna want to. It's visible. It's more visible because you're there.
Yeah.
Yes. If you have your phone on, can you put it on silence?
It is.
Your phone is on silence.
Static.
Huh? There's a static. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is there?
Indeed.
It's all the way down.
Yeah. Maybe you might have to turn. Are you using your phone or your computer? You might have to turn it off. I don't know. Mervia, can you hear us now? Can we? Mervia?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you go ahead and introduce? Yeah, that's okay. Can you introduce yourself?
I don't know what this is. I'm gonna try to come up.
There's a lot of things.
Can you turn off your phone, Ashade?
Okay.
Good.
Better.
That's better.
Thank you. That's okay. No worries. No pressure. We're dealing with technology. It's crazy. It gets us all the time. Good.
Yeah, it's not. So, my phone's off.
Maybe it's MERVIA.
Yeah, there's a static somewhere. It's not mine for sure. I'm having difficulty with my laptop, so I just went on my phone and it's working better. So
okay.
Good for that. So my name is MERVIA Scott, and I'm a financial advisor. I've been working for Sun Life this year is 20 years. Wow. And I have another career soon. I have been in a long-term relationship, and today I was asking myself, what am I going to say about relationship? But you know what? I've been in a very successful relationship, and I think I can contribute to this conversation.
Awesome. Wow, well, we're looking forward to it.
That's why we have you. We love it. We love the authenticity.
Mom, turn your phone so that it's full screen. Yes.
Nice.
Okay, good.
Oh, you see?
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We had asked a question of SHADAE while you were backstage. So we want to ask the same question of you, and the question was due
to the pandemic, we're seeing a rise in divorces. Now, what do you think are some of the contributing factors to that?
They don't know each other. They didn't know each other. They didn't spend time knowing each other. And so going out to work every day, you're just with this person for a short time, actually, because most of the time that you actually at work more than you're at home for most people, especially some of these husbands. They're on the road more than they're home. So now with this lockdown, you're seeing another side of each other that you really didn't spend time seeing before. And a lot of relationships are struggling because they don't know each other. They don't take the time to know each other. What I would have maybe done if I was going through that is take the time to know each other and try to build on that moment instead of getting frustrated. Just try to say, listen, let's do little things to accommodate each other.
Right.
Maybe watch movie, dance, exercise, cook together. But it takes two.
Yes.
It takes two.
You're so right. I agree with you. Use the time constructively to build, right? To build.
Absolutely.
But like you said, if they're both on different wavelength, different mindset, different agendas, then, this is just an added stress.
Absolutely.
The stress of being home, not being able to work as a man, not being able to go out and earn his bread to take care of his family. I'm sure it was not a situation that you would feel good about, even though you didn't cause it, but it's still internally, you feel that you're under attack. It's sad that what's going on with families, and it brings up a lot of questions, as to how does that happen? How does a family get to this situation where there is a crisis, but instead of pulling together, we pull apart?
Absolutely. And even the abuse. That has gone on the rise. Abuse of your spouse.
Yes. Because if people they weren't getting along before, if they weren't getting along, then it's going to be really difficult when you're always in the same space. And this and this has been a long haul. It's been a year. So so I was actually doing a little bit of research and noticed that they were saying of course, like you said, Mervia, the abuse is the calls into shelters and all that has gone up drastically. People are feeling a lot of stress. People are depressed more. People are seeking help more because they're home with their spouse, and it's frightening because your husband, your spouse, your significant other, it should be a loving space, right? But we're really learning that it's not necessarily a loving space. People just tolerate each other a lot of times to share the expense, because we live in a first world country where expense is everything. The bills must be paid, right? So I think people tolerate each other. So that is really, really troubling to hear, because your husband, your spouse, your significant. Yes. Those were
I think people. Go ahead, Sandra.
Okay, you go ahead. I think we're kind of hearing some playback, so try not to. If somebody's near you or in another room near you and they're watching, tell them to move away, because we're hearing some playback. You go ahead, Aaron.
I think it's the pandemic just magnifies something that's been going on. It's something that's been there for forever, right? Abusive relationships, and it's unfortunate, that it happens in relationships. I don't think people get into relationships with the intention, of being abusive consciously. But it goes back to undealt with, emotions and traumas, and maybe just things get triggered in the relationship, and then it just becomes, magnified and severe, but it goes back to people dealing with themselves individually and overcoming their traumas and not bringing it into relationships, because it impacts everyone involved.
Yeah. So we're having some trouble in the background. I'm not sure what it is. there's a bad feedback, and it's kind of hard to focus. At least for me, not sure where it's coming from. So I'm just gonna.
Sounds like typing.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask Chief to kind of take us out and take us back in to clear that. It's kind of hard to
Yeah, is it someone typing?
There's nobody type. I'm not sure.
It sounds like typing.
I'm not.
Okay, well, it subsided. Maybe the lines got crossed. The feed probably got crossed with something else.
Okay, guys, I know for those of you who are watching us, we're having some buzzing at the back, and it's kind of difficult to watch. So we're gonna try to restart. It's difficult to talk to it. I'm not sure where it's coming from. So we're gonna try to restart. So I'm so sorry. I don't want you guys to continue watching us. So so we can all leave. We can all leave. Just there's a button below that's a leave studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, those are so late. Hi. I don't know. Just got. Hi, Donna.
Hey. Well, I don't hear the static now.
I don't either.
So it's not from both our ends. Well, hey, Sandra.
Yeah. Hi. Okay. It's much better. Hopefully.
Where's MERVIA?
Okay,
Is MERVIA coming back?
Okay, great. All right, let's just go on. Sorry, guys, we had to do that. I'm so sorry because it was really annoying. I'm sorry about that. All right. Let's go. Let's just go to our next question. Well, question while we wait for MERVIA. So SHADAE, I know we stopped mid here there. So how do you know? How do you know in a relationship? How do you know when you're with the right person? How do you know that you're with? We hear a lot about soulmate and your soul connect to this person. You're with this person through thick or thin. How do you know it's the right person? If there's such a thing as the right person, go for that.
I think that for everyone it's different, and obviously you're gonna have clashes, or there's gonna be some things that you aren't perfect. But as long as I think once the main things that you value, that person values too, or at least, well, I think it's important that they value it too. But like the major things, like say if you value marriage, the person has to value marriage, or else that's not your soulmate. If you don't want to have children and that person does, but you love them, that can't be your soulmate. So certain things, but if you guys can't agree, if you don't like the same foods maybe, or if the person is a like nasty person or untidy person, for example, those things can be worked on. But certain like core values, I feel like you have to have them. And once you have them and you just can see yourself building with the person, and getting along. Like you have to be their friend and like them too. I think that's important. Because after a while, especially if you want to grow old with someone,
you have to like them.
Yeah, because growing old, you're not going to be working. You're not going to be really building. You have to rely on, or say someone gets sick or something happens where you can't do the nasty, or you can't do some of the things that you were doing before. You at least have to be able to have a conversation. Like that.
Definitely.
That is true. Do you agree, Aaron?
What
you want to say to that?
I agree with everything that SHADAE had said, and the concept of soulmate. I don't know where that came from, but I think you definitely have to vibe with that person. Have to be on that same wavelength, and not just physically, but in all aspects of your being, and having the vision to grow long term and not get tired of each other, not get weary. Every day is a new, fresh, and eventful day. And it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Pace yourself.
MERVIA, you want to chime in? The question was, how do you know you're with the right person?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Good.
How do you know you're with the right person? How do you, in a relationship? How do you
Sandra,
know?
That can be very tough. Honestly, it can be very tough. For me, chemistry is big. Chemistry for me is really.
You want to break that down for those of us who don't understand chemistry?
What is chemistry? It's basically having that connection with someone that there's more yes than no. There is this sense of comfort.
Somebody said there's nothing nasty about sex with your soulmate. Because I think Shade said when you can't do the nasties anymore. I don't know what that is. What's
nasty?
Basically, I'm trying to say when you get old, or your body, like let's say you could even be young and you're paralyzed, God forbid. You should, if that's all you have, then it's not going to work. You should at least be able to talk and laugh and fart.
Fart is a big one.
Intimacy is really actually the key as well. And some people think intimacy is sex, and it's more than that. It's making that connection. It's today I was writing out my little stuff, being close to someone and emotionally connected.
Yes.
That's
it. Emotionally connected.
Yeah,
it's hard to find. It's hard to find.
Yeah, and it's there, and being able to forgive. You have to know how to forgive instantly.
Absolutely.
You have to know how to really not carry it over. Somebody said knowing enough of the bad to know the right person. So like she's speaking from experience. So some of us who have gone through experience, we know enough of the bad. So we kind of know the good when it shows up. Yeah, because we have been through some tough times as a relationship. So that's awesome. That's awesome, MERVIA. Did you want to add to that, Aaron? I know Aaron is a married man, happily married man. You should be able to get a whole lot of tips around there. How do you know you're with the right person, Aaron? How do you know?
Well, I agree with everything that MERVIA and SHADAE has said so far. Being on the same wavelength, having that connection, being emotionally sound, both parties being emotionally sound, having a good sense of humor. Being able to give that when that one of the partners get angry, just being able to give them a hug and make them laugh and just forget about it. Why are you upset?
Yes.
And so and just not taking yourself too seriously, and respecting each other in terms of communicating. You can get angry in a relationship, but it's just how you express it, how you express that emotion, and I think as
we evolve in our relationships, we should be able to get upset and you know, at the end of the day, everything is worked out. Everything is a proper perspective. Nobody's hurt, in any particular way. That person's just giving expression to, how they feel, but it doesn't explode into something, detrimental in the relationship.
Okay, great. Great answer, Aaron.
I have a question, Aaron. How do you deal with constant infidelity in a relationship? People talk about forgive, but how do you forgive that? How do you move on and embrace that? Is that something to embrace?
No.
I don't think anybody should. But it comes down to the two individuals, and their struggle and their, what are they willing to do? Yes, there's an issue. Are we going to address the issue together, or are we going to address the issue separately? Are we committed to changing, to making a change? Are we committed to getting the help, doing the counseling, doing the self-development to make the change? Anything is possible if a person is willing to commit to making the change. Yes, I have a weakness. I'm weak. I need help. I think when somebody does that and they come up to, and they're putting an effort in to make a change, then, that's what has to, start the conversation between the two people to make it work.
That is amazing, because while you were saying that, I was thinking of it. It says hurt people, and that's a place of hurt. If a person that you're married to or with goes out of your relationship and infidelity is a really nice word, and sleeping around, that just means that person is hurting. There's a space in that person that is broken, that is really hurting. Yeah. And if that person, I live that, so I can speak from 100% experience, because I lived that. That was a bitter space to be, very sad space to be. But then if you look at the other person, you realize, when you talk to the person, you realize this person is doing this because it becomes an addiction, because of some pattern that has developed. It's a behavior. It's fulfilling something that it really can't fulfill. It's kind of like alcoholism or drug addiction. Sex addiction is the same. Yeah. I'm not a therapist, but I know that you really have to get help. You have to call it what it is. I have an addiction and I have to get help. And if that woman, if that female or male, because women do this too, willing to go the road with you, I like to say, for me, I couldn't do it. I couldn't go the road, because it was gonna kill me. I was literally getting sick from this. So, but some women are amazing and they're tough, and tougher than me for sure, and they can go the road. And if you can go the road, then go the road with him or her, and let that person get help to get to the root of the problem. But it is a problem.
It's an addiction, though, because sometimes I don't think it's always an addiction. Sometimes it's done out of, I can do it and I'm a man, and that's what's out there.
Well, then
I feel like it depends. Like, you should value yourself. If the person acknowledges they need help, it's declared that it is an addiction and they need help. But if it's just something that they're just doing and they're just
that's fine,
then the partner needs to make the decision, right? The partner needs to draw the line and say enough's enough, and I deserve more, and I can do better, and and not stay in that situation. I know it's easy for me to say it, but I think that's the reality, right? That person has to wake up eventually and say, hey, this is not what I want.
This.
Yeah.
And why do they why do you think they do it for fun, Aaron?
Something that they're
Who do what for fun?
Why do you think men? Why do you think infidelity? Shadae said sometimes they do it for the fun of it, for the heck of it. I'm a man, and I can do this. I can have many girls, and
because that's sometimes what they view as being manly. Sometimes
there are many different perspectives.
Yeah,
and I don't think we can, generalize. There's so many different things, right? Could be ego. Absolutely. Could be habits. Maybe that's what they saw growing up in their environment. But I mean, ultimately, I think we have to take responsibility, for the things that we do,
Right.
Especially if we commit to somebody. We have to take responsibility for our behavior and for our actions, right? And if I'm with somebody, I've committed to this person honestly, in sincerity, in that person's eyes, that I'm going to be the man, I'm going to be the provider, I'm going to be the father, I'm going to be, they're all, but yet, right, on the side, I have all these other stuff going on, then, why are you doing that? Why are you there? Why are you misleading this individual, right? So it comes down to, the person in that situation to ask themselves these questions, right?
Yes.
And stop messing around with other person's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did that help you, Mervia?
It did.
You just want to play devil's advocate over here. You really that was a good question though. That especially on in our community, I hear this a lot from our sisters. It's ongoing, and yeah, it's ongoing.
It's not
So
just our community. This,
no,
I'm
it's
sure,
not just. I'm gonna say it's just our community. I said in our community. I'm talking to sisters like myself. I hear this a lot from.
It's not just in our community, but it definitely sometimes is glamorized in our community, like from that in our music, like in like rap culture, in dance hall culture, they sing about it. I don't hear pop music talking about having 30 girlfriends and having a B word here and a B word there and this, yeah, like I don't hear that in like soul music or pop music and stuff, right? So I think that's why it's seen as like it's okay, especially for younger people coming up. So it's not that it doesn't happen, it's just it's kind of doesn't seem like it's frowned upon in our community because it's glamorized sometimes.
And you're just preaching. I want you to continue speaking because that's the reason why I'm talking to two different age group. Because your mom has been from the Y generation, and you from being the am I saying correctly? And you been from the X. Y and X. I think I did some research, but
I think I'm Generation X.
You're Generation X, and mom is Generation Y, and we know that this was in the generation. The baby boomers are older generation before that. They call the silent generation. We know that this has been going on for. There's a wife, there's a mistress, there is 2-3 mistresses. We know that this has been going on for a long time, and I think in our generation, Generation Y, we were more vocal about it. We spoke up more about it. We refused to accept it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then now you guys in the Generation X is seeing it publicized as if it's okay, and even belittling as you just say women, calling women names. And there's something about sexualizing women. You have to be sexy, you have to be the thing, and so there's a conflict between, because we're here, we're watching this, and these are conversations that we're having every day. So I'm glad you brought it up. We're saying this is what's going on, this is what our daughters have to live through now, seeing themselves as this a sexual object, which is really, really sad. So continue talking. Tell us how we can shift this, because you should have 2 daughters who are generation what? There's so many generations.
I think it's just. I think personally, especially, it's good. It's a good thing for our children to see healthy relationships, especially in like healthy Black relationships. Because sometimes we don't see that. Even the relationship on Love and Hip Hop, for example, reality TV that depicts it is not healthy. So, and I do know that we are not a generation that accepts it per se, but there are definitely women who are just like, well, they're okay with being a side chick, because to them, men are short. There's not enough men, and they're okay to share. That's the mentality. So I feel like if there weren't a lot of women who were okay playing that role, because it's harder to cheat if you have to lie to multiple women. But if one of them is like, I'll play my role and I won't call you at a certain time and I won't do this. But if if a man has to maneuver a lot of women, it's harder. But when you have women that are just like, I don't care, I won't call him. I don't need the Valentine's Day. I'll take the day after. Then it's easier.
That's the thing. Oh yeah.
It would be easier for someone to do that. Because if you have someone who's willing to be quiet and let me play family man.
Okay, that's interesting.
So I think one of the solutions is, because sometimes women don't see it as like, you're hurt, okay, yes, they're seeing it selfishly, but if we're thinking about a women, like sisterhood collectively, that would kind of help, and also to see healthy relationships in our community, I think.
Yeah. Oh wow. So when you say healthy relationships in our community, are you speaking from, are you looking to our generation, us to stay in the marriage and keep it?
No, not necessarily.
Are you saying that your generation,
my generation,
needs to build your generation? You're saying,
and not to bring a lot. My generation brings a lot to social media. So we'll see celebrities like that younger people look up to in a marriage, for example, and when they're arguing, they're throwing shade at each other on social media. That is also not healthy. So those things.
It's the TV, it's the social media, it's all that stuff. We have, especially with the young kids, we can't let our kids run free with those things. We have to set the culture. We have to set the culture in our home and be intentional in how we educate our kids in our home. So when they see stuff on TV or they see stuff out in the community, they know the difference, right? They know who they are and what's accepted behavior for them, right? So we have to get control, right? Parents today, grandparents.
But how do we take control, Aaron? Because like what SHADAE said, we're living in a very polarized time, and where everything is at us. There's so many things. If you hit them off Facebook, then there's Instagram, then there's some more that I don't know. There's quite a bit. There's so many. So how do you help them? How do you help them? Because even if you're trying at home, they have a lot of other influence. Correct me if I'm wrong. The influence of the social media, of their peers at school. There's so much more to just So how do you speak to that?
Yeah, it's having the conversations. I mean, we can't wait till a child is 12 and 13 years old to start having those conversations. I mean, you have to start when they're young and get them to build up a sense of identity of who they are, and just to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and not give into conformity, with their following the friends and getting into all the stuff the friends are doing. It's probably, I think that's a good place to start in the home, and having the conversation, turning off the TV, having some structure and teaching your kids in the home, right? And that can happen at any age, right? It's just a parent making the commitment and putting the time to make it happen.
MERVIA, what do you say to that?
You're still on the topic of cheating, because you went somewhere else and
we're thinking about how.
But I was thinking that it didn't just started with these young people. How many of people our age group that were married, live with their parents, and find out that the lady 2 doors down have a child for their father? This has been going on for very long. Sometimes, even for me, I remember I was at school once and I went up to this guy and I said, "Hey, are you so-and-so?" And he says, "Yes, who wants to know?" But I was already told that he was my brother.
Oh my goodness.
When I went up to him to say, "Hey, are you so-and-so?" And he's like, "Yeah, who wants to know?" with that look. I said, "I'm your sister." He's like, "Okay."
No.
So these are
things. That's a whole nother show, MERVIA. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show.
It is.
Talk about having siblings that we do not know, and I don't know if I would say that I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. If I should say that is a curse that has been happening.
It's a curse. It is a curse.
Yeah,
it's definitely a curse.
Yeah, so this is happening because of that. Yeah, because of that, there's a lot of there's a lot of incest, there's a lot of other things that comes out of that. So that's a whole nother show. And I know for a lot of us Caribbean background, we're very much used to this, that we could have siblings in the community, we could have 3 and 4 siblings in the community that are not carrying the father's name and all of that. So that's a whole nother show, and the level of promiscuity and infidelity and oh my goodness, we can talk about that forever. But we're not going to talk about we're not going to go to the history. We have to find a show just for the history of it. Yeah. But as Aaron said, if solutions with the information we have now, and we know better, that we can teach our children to be better. But we don't have to, we can break the curse, we can cut it, and we can say we're going to practice integrity and honor and if you want to call it God-fearing, and what we're going to practice in our own homes, so that we break this curse. So our boys are not having 5 baby mothers. I told my son that he's not allowed since he was a kid. And I did. I said, you're not allowed. You bring one woman, only one. You're not allowed to bring any other. And SHADAE's here, and she's your daughter. And he never brought another woman home. And that's the truth, never. Because I told him that it's not happening.
Sandra, but I really do think a lot of mothers teach their children that. And I do think there are good women out there.
Oh yeah.
Family with children who have strayed. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. True.
Okay, I have 2 boys. One have 1 child, thank God, and the other one says he's not ready. You know, we don't see that very often. You know, they have a baby mama here and one there, and sometimes they're family members who give them this power to tell them it's okay. Man, come on.
It's not okay.
These are things we've been fighting for a very long time. And I mean, there's hope. We will just.
I think mothers and fathers sometimes don't necessarily teach their sons that it's okay, but the way how they grow them or they have brought them up sends that message. Not
modeling.
Like they keep their daughter so tight and let their son roam.
Yeah.
They let him do whatever. I'm like, what message are you sending him if he has no structure, but your daughter does?
Yeah.
So they're not necessarily saying have a lot of babies, but he doesn't even have chores or rules, and your daughter is getting in trouble. I noticed that wasn't any of you guys. I wasn't there, but from what Jermaine talks about you, that's not how you raise him or his sister, but I see that a lot. I hear people who are saying, I don't want no daughters, because they're making, basically based on what I'm hearing, it's almost like they feel like it's easier to have a son. No.
Because he can get away with it. Yeah. He shouldn't be able to get away with it. And he should be, and a lot of times comes from our own self-hate. So that the whole honor of woman. So if I honor myself, then I'm going to expect my son or my husband, my spouse, to honor me and honor every other woman. So it's really a relearning, because we always feel so we don't honor ourselves enough, and I think that's where it started. It started from a long train of generations that didn't have the power to speak up or to honor herself as a queen, because of what happened, and the man come in, and then the boy come in, and in some culture the boys run the house, and the boys can beat his mom. In some culture, the boy can tell his mom to sit down and shut up. I mean, I don't think in our culture, but I mean, yeah, that happens. So it's not only in the Black culture that we're seeing this. It's across the board. There's something about taking the honor away from the woman, taking away her crown, and making her feel less than. And for us to fix the problem, that's where we have to go back to giving her this crown back, making her boys and her husband treating her like a queen, and her boys knowing that she's a queen. And that should be taught in the home, like Aaron said, so that the boys will go out and treat the woman he's going to take for his wife as a queen. It's kind of like a ripple effect, but we have to go back and unlearn. Aaron liked to talk about unlearning some of the things that we were taught that was okay, because it's not okay. Yeah. It's not okay.
I remember my youngest son had that conversation with me. He looked at me and he said, "Mom, I will never, ever have an affair with the woman that I'm with. I would never do that." And it feels good to hear my young boy says that. And SHADAE can talk about him, because don't you see that in him, SHADAE?
Yeah. He's seen it he's seen a lot of damage that's done too. So
yeah. Wow. Aaron, you want to tap into that? Because they just said something important. SHADAE just said her son has seen a lot of damage that has happened, so he decided that I'm not going to do that. But there's the other side that we're just talking about.
There you go.
that prolonged, because daddy did that and uncle did that, and so I can do that.
Sometimes they don't even want to do what daddy did, but end up doing what daddy did.
Can you speak how the mind of the behavior, the patterns continues?
Just the last statement you made there, SHADAE, that's something that I had to become conscious of. When you make the statement, you don't want to be like your father. Subconsciously, when you say that, the subconscious makes you like your dad.
Yeah, so true.
It doesn't reason. It doesn't know a negative. All it's hearing is, I want to be like my dad, and that's all. That's pictures. That's what's playing in your head, is those things that you don't want to be, but the subconscious makes you like that. So you have to be intentional and tell it the type of dad you want to be like, that you desire to be like. The dad that takes his kid to the park, the dad that teaches kids how to ride a bike or read stories and tuck him in at night, or her at night, and take them to school. And you have to be positive and constructive with the things you say to yourself, in terms of how you want to be and how you want to see yourself. Right. So I have two boys. One is 31, going on 31, married, got married later in life, had his child later in life. He learned a lot. He learned to do things differently than how I did it, and I think, the example, like, and SHADAE talked about it earlier, is the examples, right? That what have I learned from what I saw, with my parents? And so they've taken a different course, and I like to say they've created a different cycle, cycle for the grandkids, and for themselves, right? They've had the time to connect and to heal with themselves, heal from the deficiencies that they saw growing up between mom and dad, and the relationships, and be able to think for themselves and create, their own life, the life that they truly intentionally want to have, and it's really good to see. My son is a great dad, great husband. He's a teacher to his daughter, very intentional in terms of when he got into the relationship, and and all the things that they things didn't just happen, right? There's certain things that they planned, they talked about, very, very conscious and aware in a relationship, so it is possible to change, but it comes through intention.
Yes. That's right, Aaron. So let's run on to another question. Might have time one more. Speaking of being in a relationship, do you think a person can retain their identity, their authentic self while being in a relationship, whether that be marriage or just cohabitating? Do you think that you can retain who you really truly are, or to be in that relationship? What is your take on that? Should it?
Well, I would hope so. I think that, I guess there are things that are going to change, but not about, you should be you. I guess growth, and sometimes people change you naturally. Hanging out with someone gives you, or being with someone changes you, but I don't think that being in a relationship, you should be able to hold on to yourself, I think. That's my opinion. But naturally, you're going to gain stuff, probably lose some bad habits that maybe you didn't think were there. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Good answer. What do you say to that, MERVIA? Do you hold on to your authentic self, or do you let go of some of yourself so you can fit into his world, or vice versa?
There's certain things that I won't do up front in the beginning of a relationship. I mean, you're not going to do some things like I don't really want to say, but there's certain things you're not going to do. You're going to put the lady in you. But as time goes, you're going to see the other side of you, and you're going to see the other side of them.
So they're going to see the more authentic side of you, the real side of you.
Absolutely. There's certain, for instance, I might not be on a date or talking with someone and burp it, or I might, excuse me. But when I get used to the person, it might be one of those big, loud ones. You
just be real already.
You're not going to let everybody see who you are up front right away. But as you get comfortable with this person, but I don't believe anybody should change for anyone. I also do believe that when you are in a relationship with someone is coming from growing in their own world or their own space, and you from your own world, and you're coming together. So you're going to take things from each other, and you could change. You could learn to change from that person as well as they could learn to change from you. There are things that you might see that, maybe I need to change that. And it's maturity.
Yes.
It's being mature. It's looking at things that wow, this person just showed me something, and I know that I need to change this, be better at it, So it can be a good thing. But if you have to be, just to accommodate someone else, that cannot be a good relationship.
Yeah. We have 2 minutes.
Pretending.
We have 3 minutes. Yeah, but you cannot pretend for so long. I love your answer, MERVIA. I love your answer, because we teach and we learn, right? So whatever relationship we're in, we're teaching and we're learning all the time. So we have to be open for growth, and the person in your life can definitely teach you some things, and you can teach them some things. So both people have to be open for that growth. That's a beautiful answer. I wish we could have more time to talk more. It's kind of spicy. We FBI. I don't know what's this. Who is that? Somebody's telling us about. Oh, I have no idea. I think we have a spam here, but nonetheless. So we're gonna go to last word, because we have 3 minutes. We have 2 minutes by now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to. So what will we do? We're gonna close off with. Just gonna ask you to give your last word. What's your last word in relationship? What would you like our viewers? By the way, hi guys, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you. We haven't shouted you out all night because we had a little hiccup and things start to speed up. Sorry, but hi. All right, go for it now. Last word. Go for it, SHADAE. What's
last word on relationships?
To our viewers, yeah. What takeaway would you give them?
I just think that you should have certain things that that you want, and don't really settle for less. Because if that person isn't bringing those core things that you want, then that's not for you. and someone is for you, and that person might be a great person, but they're not for you. So don't settle, be yourself, and just go in and know that not every relationship is the same.
That's some wisdom there from a young lady. I love
I've been in it for a while.
Thank you. Yes, you got some wisdom. All right, girl, for MERVIA.
And I would also say to someone out there looking for a relationship, don't settle. Do not look. You have to have standards, have goals, know what you want, and do not settle. Do not drop your goals to accommodate someone else's. Know what you want and stick to it.
Wow. Very good.
That is very good.
I like that.
I like that too. To accommodate someone else. The word accommodate is the word that a lot of us need to hold there. Accommodate someone else. Because that's troubling, to accommodate someone else. We have 1 minute. Go for it, Aaron. It's going to close off with you. He's not letting go of me. He just sends me time here.
Well, I think we, regardless, of whether we have somebody in our life or not, we need you need to have a good relationship with yourself and love yourself. And I think if you're in a good place, then you naturally bring good people into your space.
You are what you will attract.
Right.
You are what you will attract. So all the work is on you. Do your work, and when you're so ready, you attract the person that is ready for you. I believe that. Right. It was a good talk.
Everyone.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, MERVIA. Thank you, SHADAE. Thank you, Aaron. All right.
Okay.
Byond exists to define purpose through holistic mentoring. At Byond, we will assist you to achieve success, enjoy inner peace, and live your best life. Basically, we're here to inspire you to heal and transform. Byond umbrella consists of Byond Talk, Byond Virtual Learning Space, Byond Coaching and Mentoring Services, and Byond Online Shop. For more information, visit us at www.sandraturgott.com or contact us at byondonline@gmail.com.
DAC TV.